Somewhere on a dealer lot near you, there is a $90,000 luxury SUV wearing a $38,000 price tag, and the finance manager is quietly praying you do not do the math. These trucks left the factory as status symbols. Six-figure window stickers, quilted leather, badges that turn heads in the school pickup line. Then reality set in. Luxury SUVs bleed value faster than almost anything on four wheels, and the three-row family haulers are the worst offenders of all. But here's the part nobody says out loud: that brutal depreciation is somebody else's loss and your gain. Today, I'm walking you through 7 luxury family SUVs that fell so far, so fast, they have quietly become some of the smartest buys on the used market. Let us get into it. Before we start, one number to frame the whole video. According to the big 2026 IC Cars depreciation study, which tracked nearly 1 million 5-year-old vehicles, the average car loses about 42% of its value in 5 years. Luxury models blow right past that, and luxury SUVs are among the fastest fallers in the entire industry. That's not a warning. For the person buying used, that's an invitation. Number 7, Volvo XC90. Let's start with the SUV that Swedish safety built and American depreciation destroyed. The XC90 is one of the most quietly competent three-row family vehicles ever made, and it loses money like it committed a crime. I had a family come through a couple years back, mom and dad with 2 car seats and a third on the way, and they were dead set on a new mid-size crossover for around $50,000. I asked them why they weren't looking used, and Dad gave me the usual line about not wanting someone else's problems. So I pulled up a 2019 XC90 T6 Momentum, loaded, panoramic roof, that gorgeous vertical touchscreen, the whole Scandinavian living room interior. It stickered north of $60,000 when it was new. They bought it 4 years old for around $28,000. That's more than half the value gone. And the truck still looked and felt like a luxury flagship. Here's what's happening under the hood. Volvo made an interesting bet on the second generation XC90, which launched for 2016. Instead of a big V6 or V8, they went with a single 2.0-liter 4-cylinder for the whole lineup. On the T6, you get that same little engine, both supercharged and turbocharged, which sounds insane until you drive it. It makes around 316 horsepower and pulls a full-size family SUV without complaint. It's bolted to an 8-speed automatic built by Aisin, and Aisin is the same Japanese company that supplies transmissions to Toyota and Lexus. That's a good pedigree. Now the honest part, because I'm not here to sell you a fantasy, the weak spot on these is not the drivetrain, it's the electronics. That Sensus infotainment system on the earlier cars can freeze, lag, or reboot itself, and the 2016 and 2017 models were the worst for it. Software updates helped. So when you're shopping, spend 10 full minutes sitting in the truck poking every menu. If the screen stutters or the backup camera hesitates, that's your negotiating leverage. Also check the shock towers and suspension bushings on higher mileage examples, because these ride firm and people beat on them. Who should buy it? Somebody who wants the safest feeling family cabin on the used market and doesn't need bulletproof simplicity. Who should skip it? Anyone who wants to own it to 250,000 miles with 0 electronic gremlins. This is a lease return luxury play, not a Toyota. Buy a clean, updated one, and it's a phenomenal deal. That's why it kicks us off at 7. Number 6, Cadillac XT6. If the XC90 depreciates because it's European, the XT6 depreciates for a much dumber reason. It shares a lot of its bones with the Chevrolet Traverse and the Buick Enclave, and buyers know it, so the badge alone can't hold the price. That's bad news for the original owner and outstanding news for you. The math on these is genuinely a little offensive. A loaded XT6 premium luxury or sport could push past $55,000, even $60,000 new. 3 or 4 years later, you're routinely finding clean, low mileage examples in the low 30s. That's a luxury 3-row, all-wheel drive, with the tech and the Cadillac interior for the price of a mid-trim mainstream crossover. Mechanically, the one you want is the 3.6-liter V6. It's naturally aspirated, meaning no turbochargers waiting to fail. And it's from a General Motors engine family that's been in service for years across a huge number of vehicles, so parts are cheap, and every shop in the country knows it. That's the opposite of exotic. That's the good kind of boring. The thing to watch on the XT6 is the transmission. It uses a 9-speed automatic, and some owners have reported rough or hesitant shifting, and in a small number of cases, more serious transmission complaints. Consumer Reports actually flagged the 2024 XT6 as below average for reliability, largely on transmission and build quality gripes. So here's your test drive checklist. 1. Get it to a stop and pull away hard from a dead stop 2 or 3 times. Any flare, slip, or clunk between gears, walk away or drive the price down hard. 2. Check the interior trim because some owners noted leather and trim pieces starting to lift, especially near the dash and vents. 3. Run every camera and sensor because the infotainment and driver assist gear is where GM luxury tends to nickel and dime you. Buy a well-maintained XT6 with a clean transmission history and you're getting Cadillac presents for Chevrolet money. Just don't buy the neglected one. At number 6, it's a bargain with a caveat. Number 5, Audi Q7. Now we start getting into the SUVs where the depreciation is not just steep, it is the whole reason to buy. The Q7 is one of the best driving 3-row family vehicles you can put your family in. It is also an Audi, which means it sheds value like it is trying to lose weight for summer. Picture the original buyer. They walked into an Audi showroom, checked the boxes for Quattro all-wheel drive, the virtual cockpit digital dash, the Bang & Olufsen sound, maybe the towing package, and drove out having spent somewhere between $55,000 and $65,000. Fast forward, and that same second generation Q7, the one that launched for 2017, now trades used in the high 20s to mid 30s depending on year and miles. The person who bought it new ate close to half the value. You get to skip that part entirely. The engine you will find in most of these is a 3.0-liter supercharged V6, making around 333 horsepower, paired to a smooth 8-speed automatic. Supercharged, not turbocharged, which some folks actually prefer because there is no turbo lag and no hot turbo seals cooking themselves over time. It is a genuinely refined, quick, quiet drivetrain. But this is a German luxury SUV, so you buy it with your eyes open. 2 things to inspect. First, if the truck is equipped with the adaptive AIR suspension, test it thoroughly. Let it sit, come back, make sure it hasn't sagged in one corner, and listen for the compressor working too hard. Air suspension repairs are where these get expensive. Second, because it's a direct injected engine, ask about intake and carbon service history, and factor in that maintenance on a Q7 costs real German money. This is not a cheap car to own, it's a cheap car to buy. Big difference. Who's this for? A driving enthusiast with a family who refuses to give up handling and interior quality just because they now own car seats. Who should skip it? Anyone on a tight repair budget who can't absorb the occasional big ticket bill. Go in informed, and the Q7 is one of the most car you can get for the money. Number 5. Number 4, Lincoln Aviator. This one hurts the original owners the most, and I almost feel bad for them. Almost. The Aviator launched for 2020 as Lincoln's shot at the big leagues, and on paper it delivered. Genuinely gorgeous styling, a cabin that embarrassed cars costing far more, available massaging seats, and a real 400 horsepower engine. People loved it, and then it depreciated like a stone dropped off a bridge. A loaded Aviator, especially the black label trim, could sail past 70, even flirt with $80,000 new. Those exact trucks now show up used in the upper 30s to low 40s. That is one of the steepest dollar drops on this entire list. and it's happening on a vehicle that's only a few years old and still looks completely current. Under the hood is a 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6, making 400 horsepower, mated to a 10-speed automatic. It shares its underlying platform with the Ford Explorer, which is actually good news because it means the mechanical parts are widely available and any competent shop can work on it, not just a Lincoln dealer. The catch with the Aviator is the launch year. The 2020 models, the very first ones off the line, had a rough start with a string of build quality and electronic recalls, everything from software to seats. Ford and Lincoln worked through most of it, so the smart move is simple. Favor a 2021 or later and pull the vehicle history to confirm the recalls were actually completed. On your test drive, cycle the fancy stuff, the air suspension if equipped, the massaging seats, the big touchscreen, every drive mode, because the technology is exactly where a neglected one will bite you. Buy a sorted, later build Aviator, and you are stepping into something that feels like a genuine luxury flagship for the price of a mid-level mainstream SUV. The depreciation did all the suffering for you. That's number 4. Number 3, BMW X7. Now we're in flagship territory. The X7 is the biggest, most expensive SUV BMW makes, a 3-row land yacht built to go straight up against the Escalade and the Mercedes GLS. And because it's a big German luxury flagship, it depreciates with real violence. Let me give you the framing. A new X7 today starts right around $90,000, and once you start optioning it, they routinely crest 100. Now here's the depreciation reality. Independent data from CarEdge estimates the X7 can lose somewhere in the neighborhood of 57 to 63% of its value over 5 years. Sit with that. On a $100,000 truck, that is $50,000 to $60,000 evaporating, which means the early X7s, the 2019 and 2020 models, are now landing used in the mid-40s and even lower depending on miles and equipment. And what you're getting for that is not some stripped out Econobox. The one to buy is the xDrive 40i, which runs BMW's 3-liter turbocharged inline-6. That engine is one of the great modern BMW power plants, smooth as silk, strong, and bolted to an 8-speed automatic from ZF that is widely considered one of the best automatic transmissions ever built by anyone. This drivetrain is the good stuff. Here's your buyer's discipline though. Every X7 rides on AIR suspension at all 4 corners as standard. So on the test drive, you let it sit, you watch for uneven ride height, and you listen for the compressor straining. You also budget for the fact that BMW maintenance, tires, and brakes are expensive. And the 22 and 23-inch wheels these often wear are not cheap to shod. My honest advice on any German flagship like this, look for one with remaining factory or certified pre-owned warranty coverage. Let the warranty absorb the scary stuff while you enjoy a truck that costs 6 figures for the price of a mid-sized Toyota. Who's this for? The buyer who wants genuine flagship presence and that inline-6 refinement, and who understands they're buying a luxury experience, not a maintenance-free appliance. At number 3, the X7 is proof that the fancier the badge, the harder the fall, and the better the used deal. If this kind of straight talk is saving you from a bad purchase, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I've got more videos breaking down exactly which used luxury vehicles are secret bargains and which ones are money pits wearing nice badges. Now, numbers 2 and 1 are where the depreciation gets truly wild, so stick with me. Number 2, Land Rover, Range Rover. I have to include this one, and I have to be completely honest with you about it because it is simultaneously the most tempting and the most dangerous name on this list. Nothing on the road depreciates like a Range Rover. The numbers are almost hard to believe. Independent estimates from CarEdge peg the full-size Range Rover's 5-year depreciation at around 74%. And even the more conservative Kelley Blue Book figure lands near 68%. Let me translate that. A Range Rover that's stickered well over $100,000 new can be a fraction of that price a few years later. On paper, it's the greatest luxury bargain in the world. So why isn't it number one? Because there's a reason it falls that far. Range Rovers have a long, well-documented reputation for expensive reliability problems, particularly the air suspension, the electronics, and the complex drivetrains. That same KBB analysis estimated 5-year total ownership costs, once you fold in maintenance, repairs, insurance, and fuel, well into 6 figures. The cheap purchase price is the bait. The ownership cost is the hook. Now, does that mean never buy one? No. It means buy one the smart way. If you're going to do this, you do 3 things without exception. 1, you get a pre-purchase inspection from an independent Land Rover specialist, not the selling dealer, and you pay the couple $100 gladly because it can save you $5,000. 2, you strongly favor an example with a comprehensive extended warranty, and you read exactly what it covers. 3, you set aside a real repair fund before you ever sign, because on this truck, it's not if, it's when. Buy it that way, with your eyes fully open and a cushion in the bank, and you can drive one of the most capable, most luxurious SUVs ever built for pennies on the original dollar. Buy it on impulse because the price looks too good to be true, and you'll learn why it was too good to be true. That's the Range Rover at number 2. Handle with care. Number 1, Infiniti QX80. And here it is, the champion. If you want the single most dramatic gap between how much a luxury family SUV costs new and how little it costs used, this is it. In that 2026 IC Cars study I mentioned at the top, the Infiniti QX80 was called out as the fastest depreciating SUV over 5 years, shedding roughly $52,000 in value. $52,000. That's not a typo. That's a luxury sedan's worth of value gone. And unlike the Range Rover, this one I can recommend with a straight face. Let me tell you why I get excited when one of these rolls in. A guy came to me last year wanting to spend around 30 grand on a 3-row family truck, and he was looking at mainstream stuff. I asked if he'd consider a used QX80. He gave me a look because these things stickered anywhere from $70,000 to over $90,000 new depending on trim. Then I showed him the used market, where clean examples routinely run anywhere from the mid-teens up into the 30s and 40s for the nicest, lowest mileage trucks. He got a genuine full-size luxury SUV captain's chairs, 3 rows of leather, the whole thing, for a fraction of what the first owner paid. Now here's the part that makes it number 1 instead of just a cheap curiosity. The heart of the QX80 is a 5.6-liter V8, and that engine is a tank. It's from Nissan's proven big V8 family, the same basic engine philosophy that powers the Armada and has been running in trucks around the world for years. It makes right around 400 horsepower, and critically, it's naturally aspirated. No turbos to fail. It's a body-on-frame truck, built like an actual SUV instead of a tall car, so the fundamentals are rugged and simple. And the reliability data backs this up. RepairPal rates the Infiniti QX family strongly for its class, with a below-average annual repair cost and a low probability of a major catastrophic repair compared to other full-size luxury SUVs. In plain English, it's cheap up front, and it doesn't tend to blow up on you. So what's the catch? Because there's always a catch. 2 things, and neither is a deal breaker if you go in knowing. First, fuel economy. This is a big, heavy V8 truck, and it drinks. You're looking at mid-teens miles per gallon. So if you commute 100 miles a day, factor that in. Second, on the older ones, check the basics thoroughly. The air suspension, if equipped, the 4-wheel drive engagement, and the general condition. Because these are big trucks that sometimes get worked hard. Here's your buyer's checklist. 1, get the V8 up to temperature and listen. It should be smooth and quiet. Any ticking or rough idle, investigate. 2, test the 4-wheel drive system in a safe, empty lot, turning lock to lock, feeling for any binding or clunking. 3, look hard at the 3rd row and cargo area. because these are family trucks, and a trashed interior tells you how the whole vehicle was treated. 4. My pro tip, the same one I give on every family SUV. The best one you can find is the one owned by an older couple who bought it new, garaged it, and did every service on time. A gently used QX80 with low miles is basically a brand new luxury truck at a used Toyota price. Here's my bottom line on the QX80. This is the most luxury SUV your dollar can buy on the used market right now, full stop. Massive, comfortable, genuinely durable powertrain, and it lost more value than anything else in its class, which means somebody already absorbed the pain for you. If I needed a big 3-row family hauler tomorrow and wanted maximum luxury for minimum money, this is exactly where I'd start. That's why it's number 1. So there they are, 7 luxury family SUVs that fell so far, so fast they became some of the smartest used buys on the road. The Volvo XC90, Swedish safety at a fraction of the sticker. The Cadillac XT6, luxury presence for mainstream money. The Audi Q7, a driver's SUV with a family badge. The Lincoln Aviator, a near flagship that took a brutal price dive. The BMW X7, 6-figure luxury for Toyota money. The Range Rover, the greatest bargain in the world if, and only if, you buy it the smart way. And the Infiniti QX80, the undisputed depreciation champion that's still genuinely worth owning. The lesson underneath all 7 is simple. Depreciation is savage, but it only stings the first owner. For the smart used buyer, it's the single greatest discount in the car world. Next time you're standing on a lot and a salesman steers you toward a brand new mainstream crossover, you'll know there's a barely used luxury truck 3 rows over, wearing a fraction of its original price, waiting for someone smart enough to notice. If this helped you, hit like, subscribe for more videos on the used vehicles worth your money and the ones that'll drain your wallet, and I'll see you in the next one. Drive safe out there.